For the past month, I've been sleeping for 4 hours a night, and I feel amazing. I don't feel sleep deprived, I feel incredibly powerful. Good morning, friends. It is 4:27 and I just got up for the second time. What I'm practicing for around 5 weeks now is called Polyphasic Sleeping. That means I don't sleep like a regular person for 6, 7, 8, 9 hours a night and then stay awake for 16, 17, 18 hours and then go to bed again. But instead, I split my body's need for sleep into multiple parts. That's why it's called polyphasic sleeping. Sleeping in multiple phases. But let's explore all that when the day has progressed a little bit more. Since I'm still at the end of my transition phase, I don't feel at 100% energy level, like in the middle of the night at 4:30. And since all the other people here are not got like the polyphasic sleep, I need to be a little bit quiet during the night. So what I'm gonna do now is edit yesterday's vlog. The first time that I came across this pretty crazy idea was in 2011 when I read Tim Ferriss' 4-Hour Body. And when I learned that some of the most incredible people in the history were sleeping only 2, 3, 4 hours per day and they were thriving, like a Leonardo da Vinci and the Nikola Tesla and the Buckminster Fuller and the Thomas Alva Edison and Thomas Jefferson and Napoleon, and like there are so many examples from the history books of people who were following this strange sleeping pattern and they were like really thriving with it. I was immediately hooked. While there are many different polyphasic sleep schedules, the most famous and the most intense one is the Uberman. And the Uberman consists of only 6 20-minute naps spread out during the day every 4 hours. So you have a sleep time in total per day of 2 hours. And yeah, like almost for my whole life, I see myself as a human guinea pig. I need to try out all the things that I come across and that fascinate me. So of course I tried the Uberman and I got rid of my 7, 8 hours per night and changed them for 6 20-minute naps during the whole day, every 4 hours, at midnight, at 4 AM in the morning, 8 AM in the morning, at noon, at 4 PM and at 8 PM. And to be precise, the first experiment was pretty unsuccessful. Back in the days, I was writing a blog. It was called Herculesic. It's a German word that I came up with, and nobody was reading this blog, but I was sharing my experiment. If you want to activate your inner Sherlock Holmes, you will maybe be able to find to find my notes from my first polyphasic sleep experiment in 2012. So yeah, I was not able to implement that. I was constantly oversleeping, I didn't hear my alarms, I had like low energy and it was really a mess. So after a couple of days I abandoned this experiment. But then 2 months ago, through some crazy coincidences, I came across Polyphasic Sleeping again, and I read my own journal entries in the blog, and I realized why I wasn't successful. While in the past I thought polyphasic sleeping is not working for like most people, I now realized I need to transition more gradually into it. I need to allow myself more time for the adaptation, and probably starting cold turkey with the Uberman is not the right approach. So I wanted to try it again, but this time differently. I saved the Uberman for later and started with the Everyman. The Everyman consists of a core sleep during the night of a couple of hours and then a number of naps during the day. There's the Everyman 1 with 1 nap during the day, there's the Everyman 2 with 2 naps during the day, and there's the Everyman 3 with 3 naps during the day, which is the one I decided for. But before we explore how this experiment went and why you even should try that at all, you're thinking to yourself maybe, it's time for my 8 AM nap. So, talk to you later.
Good night. Sleep well.
Good morning. Exciting friends. I'm just reading through all the CUSTODIA applications that are coming in for Bali in December and for Portugal in August. I just needed to give a hug to myself for having created this and for bringing so many amazing people into this field. Like, I really sense a huge difference compared to my work a couple of years ago, where I was fortunate enough to work with great people too, but now it feels like such a deep alignment. I read like almost each of those applications and I'm like, oh my god, like I feel such a strong resonance to work with you and to create magic with you. It doesn't feel like an application process, it feels more like a get-to-know process. I just took a nap. I just took my first nap in the cafe. Like, polyphasic sleeping gets really put to a significant stress test here today with our trip to Ubud. But I had an epic nap in the middle of a busy cafe and I slept for 20 minutes. I woke up a little bit groggy afterwards, still feeling good. Beautiful to have this flexibility. Yeah, I heard of people who are sleeping polyphasically and they say that they can just like everywhere, at a bus stop, like really like everywhere, like just sit down and they fall asleep immediately. Crazy. Alright friends, let's get into some of the science behind polyphasic sleeping. Why would people do that? There are basically 3 stages of sleep within a regular monophasic 7.5 hours night sleep. First, there's the light sleep. Then there's the deep sleep, also called SWS, slow wave sleep. And then there's the REM sleep, rapid eye movement, where the eyes are moving very fast. And out of these three phases, the light sleep isn't really essential. That's the theory behind polyphasic sleep, that around 50% of a regular night's sleep is spent in light sleep, which doesn't really contribute anything essential that the other two stages cannot contribute to our overall well-being. So if we force our body through sleep deprivation, because we tell him, okay, you only have 20 minutes nap right now, we force our body directly, or almost directly, into the SWS, the deep sleep, or the REM sleep. And these two phases are really essential. The SWS sleep is important for the removal of metabolic waste. It's also like the deepest sleep phase. When we wake up during this phase, we feel like really wasted afterwards. You probably know this feeling when the alarm goes on in an unfortunate moment and you feel like, ugh, where am I? Like, what is going on? You probably woke during SWS. And per day, an average human being has a need of SWS of between 90 and 120 minutes. And then the REM sleep is probably the most famous sleep stage. Rapid eye movement, the eyes are moving very fast. This is the phase where we are dreaming. This is essential for learning, for memory, for integration of like new skills that we are developing. Like this phase is really, really crucial. We have a need for around 90 to 120 minutes of REM sleep too. So if we add up the numbers by restructuring our sleep in a way that our body knows, oh, you don't have the full 8 hours right now, you only have, like, for example, 3 hours or 4.5 hours during the night, and then a couple of naps during the day. As a rule of thumb, we can replace one core sleep cycle during the night of 90 minutes with one 20-minute nap during the day. So this is what I'm doing on the Everyman 3. I replaced 3 cycles during the night, so 4.5 hours, with 3 naps that are spread out during the day. So if we add up the numbers, we arrive at a need of SWS and REM sleep of around 3 to 4 hours per adult. And this is what I'm getting. For the past month, I've been sleeping for 4 hours a night, and I feel amazing. I don't feel sleep deprived, I feel incredibly powerful. But this feeling only like really manifested after a phase of adaptation. In the beginning it was not easy. I was oversleeping and then I felt groggy afterwards, and like the adaptation phase is something where you need to power through. But after that, like, there were not many times in my life where I felt more vigorous, more energetic, and I only sleep around 4 hours per night. 3 during the night, and then 3 times 20 minutes spread out during the day. So yeah, this way I have a lot more time at my disposal to be productive, to create beautiful things, to read, to learn. But one really important thing, it's not a good idea to use all this time for being active. Of course we need to rest. Even though we are sleeping less, it's important to not power through the remaining 20 hours during the day, but really to integrate habits like meditation, slow movement, taking forest walks, or what I'm doing right now, a nice session in the sauna. So deeply relaxed, and at the same time very, very tired. Looking forward to my 3 hours of core night sleep very soon. But before we close today's video, I'd like to share some habits or best practices or foundations that were important for me to make this transition into sleeping polyphasic. The first one I already mentioned. It's important to schedule rest periods throughout the day. It's not a good idea to power through for 20 hours and then have only 4 hours of rest. Besides that, what is important? You need a strong driver. You need a strong why, because it's not gonna be an easy journey. It's gonna be like the more you stretch yourself, the more extreme version of sleeping polyphasic you choose, the more difficult the adaptation period will be. So there needs to be a strong driver. Why are you doing it? It's just like, okay, just for fun, you will probably not going to do it. So for me, like, this really resonates with the spirit of becoming a custodian, being of service more and more, and at the same time, like, pushing the boundaries of my capabilities. Like, I'm really deeply curious about like what is possible with our human bodies, and trying to stretch my capabilities more and more. Besides that, it's helpful to have a plan what to do during the night with those hours you are awake, because most activities are not very suitable for the night. Probably other people are sleeping, you cannot produce any noise, eating is not a good idea during nighttime, and yeah, so you need to plan what to do. And for me, editing those videos is the perfect nighttime activity. But whatever be it for you, be prepared so that you will not be bored, because if you will be bored, then you will probably go to sleep, especially during the adaptation period. It's helpful to have another person watching you during the adaptation period so you don't oversleep.
Yes.
So thank you for your contribution, for me still being on this journey.
I love it.
Without Joey, I would have like probably maybe even already abandoned it. It's difficult, like, especially when
it's not that easy to wake him up. I must say that.
It is. It is.
Sometimes
it's easy,
but
sometimes
it's a real pain in the ass.
If you don't have another person
Get another person.
Get another person. There's this alarm clock on Amazon that when I tried it for the first time, that I bought, but before it arrived, I quit Polyphasic Sleeping, so I sent it back. And that's an alarm clock that when it goes off, it shoots a propeller like to the other side of the room, and it only stops if you find the propeller and you get it and you put it on top of the alarm clock. Something like that you need. Either a Joey or that. So you can choose. What else is helpful? You need a strong will, because probably even though you prepare yourself perfectly, there will be certain moments when you oversleep and then you have difficulty falling asleep later, and then it's like, yeah, I had multiple occasions where I was really like,
And a purpose.
Yeah, I already shared that.
Oh.
But thank you for paying attention.
Sorry.
It's already late, it's okay. So, what else is important? It's a good idea to not have a lot of super important things for the first 1 or 2 weeks of your adaptation period, because probably you will be a little wasted and not be super like sharp, and like if I would do the transition period now, I think I could not do it, because there's so many things going on right now with the creation of Custodia, with coachings I'm doing, with the videos, like so many things going on. But like 1 month ago, beginning of May, was a lot more calm, so there was a good period for doing the transition. And yeah, I think that's it for now. I could talk for hours and hours more. There's so much to share. It's a really fascinating topic, and I'm only starting to dip my toes into these waters. If you're interested, let me know, and then we can talk about more about the topic of polyphasic sleeping in one of the future videos. With that being said, I'll keep you updated how things will continue, and whether we will transition into the Uberman or next week abandon it altogether or stay with that. I don't know. It feels like highly dynamic, and yeah. Do you want to share anything? No?
No. Just want to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good night.